Good morning, church. I am so excited to share with you that we have plans to reopen Rock this Sunday. As I had mentioned, Potwin averages a little bit more than Rock on a normal Sunday, and we really don't have a good plan on what to do with the excess amount of people for Potwin. So we're going to reopen Rock, and we're going to have our service at 9 a.m. And Rock, we're going to have a Zoom meeting as well with Mitch. And then that service will be posted on our Facebook pages and YouTube for an 11 a.m. service for Potwin. It'll be online. The plan is to reopen Potwin next week. Well, with all that said, I am very, very excited to get back with you all. And what a perfect time and time for Pentecost. And we are very familiar with the scriptures in the book of Acts when it comes to Pentecost and how the Spirit of the Lord came down and people began to prophesy. And that story is actually what's the word? A reenactment of the story in Numbers chapter 11. And when you look at the NRSV Bible, chapter 11 of the book of Numbers, which is the story of the people of God wandering in the wilderness, it begins with the subtitle, "The People Complain in the Desert." And I find that very appropriate because I know I find myself complaining and bickering and doubting and suspecting. You name it, I've thought it over the course of this quarantine. And it's been incredibly frustrating as a leader to have that balance of let's go and move forward, but at the same time, let's be safe. I want to thank you for your prayers for all of that journey. And even now, as we begin to reopen Rock and then Potwin, I'm a little gun shy, and we're taking all precautions. And some might think that I'm maybe overreacting, and that's fine. The old adage, better safe than sorry, kind of resonates with me right now. Well, back to Numbers chapter 11, the people were complaining. And in this case, you remember the story where they wanted meat, something to eat. And then God, of course, sends a quail. But between the complaint and the quail, something happens. And that is the preceding story of Pentecost. God asks Moses to assemble 70 leaders and meet him at the foot of the mountain, where God comes in clouds and smoke. And then he pours his Spirit upon the 70, including Moses, and 2 in the camp, one to include Joshua, Moses' assistant. And the people are filled with the Holy Spirit, and they speak in tongues and prophesy. And this is my devotion for this morning as we kind of move out of the wilderness, the desert, into the promised land, if you will, reopening the church. Especially for this holiday of Pentecost. And my devotion asks this question in verse 23 of the 11th chapter of Numbers. The Lord said to Moses, "Is the Lord's power limited? Now you shall see whether my word will come true for you or not." And that is perfect for me. And I believe for us in our time of uncertainty in moving forward. And then, of course, then Moses gathers a people and God pours his Spirit. Friends, might the Spirit of the Lord lift you up today, raise you up, and remind you that of his power. It's unlimited, and he can do anything. And I invite you to get excited for this coming Pentecost this Sunday. Be blessed, friends. Bye.